Live by the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
Hello guys, welcome back to my social commentary. I hope we all are doing good and you are watching this video. So this tragic shooting of the right-wing activist Kirk has sparkled a wave of outrage and controversies across the United States of America. While many are mourning and sympathizing with the family, mourning because of this tragic incident, some have chosen to take it to social media with mixed and harsh reactions and polarizing comments. So guys, let's dive straight into the video. And if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel, like and share our video to help the channel out.
If you are saying that Charlie Kirk's death is a detriment to the freedom of speech and how he was protecting America and your rights, do not follow me. Do not expect me to follow you. I have had to go down my mutuals list and unfriend about 7 people already just by scrolling through my phone. Do I believe that he deserved to get shot? No, absolutely not. I would not wish that upon anyone, and my heart does go out to his family. But do I think he was a good man? Absolutely not. He was not protecting your rights, he was harming them. He was harming several minorities and got a kick out of it. Just look at any of his debates. Just do the slightest bit of research. Do not put him on a pedestal just because he is dead. Charlie met an unfortunate end, and once again I state he did not deserve that. But I will not stand here and listen to you talk about how good of a man he was. He wasn't. It's as simple as that.
Charlie Kirk's death has led me to an uncomfortable conversation that I want to facilitate. To my white brothers and sisters, how would you hope your minority friends respond to the celebration of Charlie Kirk's life when he has very publicly said things like this?
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. Because of DEI, it begs the question when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence? And Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
Refer to Asian individuals by the C word, a word too violent for me to even utter. Refer to Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown Jackson of the Supreme Court, both Harvard graduates, as not having the brain processing power to be taken seriously. Suggested that if seeing a black pilot, would assume they were a DEI hire. To my white brothers and sisters, I'm genuinely asking, how would you like your minority friends to respond to the celebration of his life? Not to his death, but to the celebration of his life.
Okay, let's get something clear. Nobody deserves to die for their political opinion. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die for having a political opinion. Now, I don't agree with him. I'm sure a lot of you don't agree with him. It doesn't mean he deserved to die. But I really want you to ask yourself this question. Who had the most to gain from Charlie Kirk's murder? Was it the left? Because most people on the left are very anti-gun, very much like empathetic, don't want war, don't want fighting. Why would they do something that they know the right is going to retaliate on? Makes zero sense. He wasn't a political figure. Taking him out wasn't going to change anything. It was only going to piss people off. And that's exactly what happened. Within minutes of it happening, the flag went to half-mast despite it not going there for senators being murdered or school shootings or anything. No, they put it down for Charlie Kirk because they wanted to send a message. And they did. The president got on with his very AI-looking video and talked about the radical leftists, the liberal terrorists who caused all of this. And then you have Fox News. Fox News was right on top of that, calling them liberal terrorists, saying this is war, and that they declared war on the right. So think about this. Nobody on the left declared war on the right. One person got on a roof and fired a shot. Nobody knows who it was or what his motive was. You can sit there and say he was a radical leftist, but it's still one person, not an entire party, even if he was a radical leftist. But he could also have been a planted hire. Charlie Kirk himself made a post saying that he feared Israel would try to kill him because he was speaking out against Israel. He was also one of the biggest advocates for releasing the Epstein files. Despite the fact that he was a huge Trump supporter, he himself said that he demanded them to be released and was not letting it go. There were a lot of people who had a reason to execute Charlie Kirk, none of which were on the left. So you need to ask yourself, is this really a leftist, plot to start a war with the right? Or the other way around? Because people like Peter Thiel, they have a lot to gain from someone like Charlie Kirk being assassinated. Read Project 2025 and tell me I'm wrong.
13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates them? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word "so" is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes.
He's saying "so" as in therefore, as in one could conclude, but Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation, but he's hoping that you don't know that. So he deploys the word "so" to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion.
Exactly.
So blacks
Instead, he's making an illogical racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about arrests and convictions. I'll come back to that data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments. Something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again, and loud this time. If Charlie were interested in honesty, he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations. In fact, black people make up 55% of all murder exonerations specifically. Black people are more likely than any other group in this country to be convicted of crimes they did not commit. And then people like you have the nerve to parade these stats around as though they prove something. And the reality is that you probably know these stats, but you leave them out on purpose because to bring that stat into this conversation would make some people think. And that's the last thing a person like you wants.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of
I'm not going to apologize for my reaction to what I saw yesterday. Against my will, a video of Charlie Kirk, a very up-close video of Charlie Kirk dying, came across my TikTok feed. And for those of you in the comments saying, well, what about Gaza? What about this? What about that? Yes, you're right, but let's be specific. The Charlie Kirk assassination in Utah yesterday. The Evergreen High School shooting in Denver yesterday. The Douglas Park shooting in Chicago. The River North mass shooting in Chicago. The Annunciation Catholic Church shooting in Minneapolis. The Lexington shootings in Kentucky. None of that is normal either. And none of it is something that we should accept quietly. And here's the thing. This type of content did not used to be content. There was a time that if you wanted to see videos such as the one that I watched yesterday, you had to search far and wide to find it. You would even have to go to the depths of the dark web to access it. And now, it's the first thing that comes up when we open up an app that we get on to find some peace and some fun in this atrocious, disgusting world that we live in. We should not be desensitized to witnessing death. This is not content. This is not entertainment. This is trauma being broadcasted and consumed like it's nothing. And if I'm shaken, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, that's how it should be, because that is human. So for all the people telling me that that's just how the world is now, and that's just how things are now, I reject that. We should not accept death as something ordinary. We should not consume death passively. And if you think that seeing someone die online shouldn't bother you, think about all of the incidents that I just mentioned previously in this video. And those were just in the summer of 2025 to date. And think about all the lives lost in summer 2025 to date. And then think, is that acceptable? I am not apologizing for reacting. We should react. We have to react. It is not normal. This is not normal, and it is not okay.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
Yo guys, thank you for watching our video. We really appreciate it. And some voices are calling Kirk a victim of political extremism and a dangerous culture of violence, while other critics and detractors are labeling this as karma, questioning his role in fueling division. So this controversy that has led to a nationwide debate is not just about the crime, it's about how polarized America has become, how polarized the United States of America has become. So tell us what you think about this particular video in the comment section, what your own mindset is saying about this video in the comment section. And if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel so that more video about what is happening in the country will pop up your screen. And please do ensure to like and share our video to help the channel out.